The links for Odysee and Bit Chute, where the real videos are. Support me on Subscribestar, Coffee, or through the various other means, crypto, and a bunch of other stuff. Andrew Torba and Gab. Andrew Torba is a gift, and this is a weird lack of self-awareness on the ADL and on the Forwards, it's a digital magazine's part, to think that they're going to compare like Greenblatt, who looks like he lives under a bridge eating children. He doesn't even look human. He looks like a monster. I mean, what was that movie from 100 years ago, Nosferatu? Who was that guy who played the role where played vampire? It's like, that really looks like Greenblatt, just this vampire caricature. It's something from the underworld, something from a lower level of hell. And it's a weird lack of self-awareness when they think they're going to compare Greenblatt to Torba and like put them up against each other and think like, most normal people are going to look at Torba, just, nice normal guy who's got a free speech platform, or a freer speech platform. There's no such thing as free speech. And then you look at Greenblatt, just like, he looks like a vampire that preys exclusively on children. And you think like, oh yeah, we're going to side with Greenblatt. Like, are you insane? Greenblatt, he needs to censor your speech. You have two men talking, two men at the open marketplace of ideas, exchanging information, argument and counterpoint. And Greenblatt slithers in and says, no, I need to censor information. I need to censor. I need to be the one responsible for what ideas a man may discuss and ruminate over. Like, people look at Greenblatt, are you literally a crazy person? Not that your ideas are crazy, but the deeper craziness comes in your lack of self-awareness and how people would look at you and perceive you as being just a vermin parasite, just evil, just something that scurries away from the light and hides under rocks. Anyway, that's this is the initial comment that I guess made them so triggered. Torba was talking about Christian society versus the Bolshevik society, which is a fair and accurate representation of the truth, and it goes into Christianity and building up Gab. Then we have this insane piece of fiction from the Forwards, is Jewish Fearless, 1897, Yiddish culture. Okay. And the ADL, in case you're unaware, you go look into the history of the ADL, history of Leo Franks and the ADL. They formed to protect someone who preyed on children. That's the history of the ADL. It's just as insane as it sounds. You think, you must be Istophobic to say it. No, seriously, go Google the history of Leo Franks and the ADL. And Mary Fagan, I think, was Leo Franks' victim. He got arrested for it, charged with it, and then he tries to blame it on a black guy. Leo Franks. That's literally the history of the ADL. Anyway, so how one free speech platform weaponized free speech to foment insurrection. Well, there was no insurrection. He was talking about J6. That was a peaceful protest, as have been. There's been many protests over the years, some peaceful and some less so. But an unarmed group of boomers having a protest does not meet the definition of insurrection. So you're lying in your headline right off the bat. So Twitter deplatformed Trump for telling people to seek redress of grievance, as is in the First Amendment. Crack down on other users. Amazon kicked social media site Parler off its services. I don't know what happened to Parler. All these people who are thinking Parler and Getter are going to be the go-to sites. No, Gab has got the best terms of service right now for a Twitter-like site. Gab and Gab TV. Odysee is very good too, but if you like that Twitter-like platform, that's what Gab is. Except Gab also allows editing, which is very cool. And in the wake of that peaceful protest, membership of Gab, which has long been a home for free speech, swelled, even as it was criticized by who? By you godless Marxist parasites and vermin, ticks and leeches, for allowing users to plan the peaceful protest. There's people on Facebook and Instagram Live that gang members will openly film themselves deleting other gang members left and right. That's absolutely, oh my God, we need to get rid of Facebook. Yeah, you should. I mean, not just for that reason, but obviously there's a little bit of hypocrisy in this article. So the social media platforms all played a role, except you're focusing on Gab, on the peaceful protests on the Capitol. It's not an assault and an insurrection when an unarmed group of boomers go to have a peaceful protest at a Capitol. That's not an assault. Is a bunch of people in masks and rifles, and you need to talk to about like 10,000 armed dudes with rifles and artillery. That's an assault. A peaceful group of boomers is not an assault. Something that went unmentioned in all the mainstream coverage is the site's Christian ideology. Okay, well, this is a Jewish magazine, ADL and the Ford. They're far left globalists. Obviously, these guys got an issue with Christianity. There's a lot of stuff in Christianity they have issue with. There's a lot of stuff in Judaism that Christians have issue with and pagans have issue with. You're opening yourself up for redress of grievance, and then you try to raise this shield of saying, oh, well, it's istophobic. Well, yeah, but you're anti-white and you're anti-Christian. So those two things cancel each other out. A lot of this is just childish level argument of, like, what does that word mean? It's anti-Semitic because they're Christian? Well, then, I mean, all religions are against each other because all religions say that they're the only path forward. I mean, this is kind of a nonsense argument. You can go through this and figure out how many times they say extremism, hate, all these kind of hot words. It's like, well, you can put that in front of anything you want. You can write an article about it. And it's not probative and relevant. It's not proving the point of your argument. You're just using a lot of buzzwords that people will focus on. So it's like this stochastic terrorism where these articles come, you Google Andrew Torba's name, and this article is going to come up with hate and extremism and istophobicism, conspiracy theories, that globalists currently control our society, all this kind of stuff. It's like the point of all this is stochastic defamation. To write these articles, it's like this, you're not providing evidence for any of this. Andrew Torba's making several true statements, and you're just calling the statements highly offensive. It's like, but are they true or not? Well, it doesn't matter. They're offensive, and if I'm offended, then you shouldn't have the free speech to say that. Like, okay, so you're openly saying you are anti-free speech, you're pro-censorship, and not only that, but you want to be the one to decide the censorship. Why don't you either not take part in the conversation between the adults or offer a rebuttal to the argument instead of saying, no, we need to deplatform them. That's what authoritarian totalitarians do. And that's what the Jewish Fearless since 1897 forward is doing. Andrew Torba is really a gift from the angels. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next episode.